This is the silver 1-month overview reading for May 2022. It's currently April 9th, 2022. Overall theme and behavior is a fast, sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of volatility. It's mixed with a disappointment, something that we were counting on doesn't come to fruition, and as a result, there's a sharp decline. Behavior around the month's high, there's going to be U-shaped dips where near the intersection of multiple trend lines, near the month's higher highs. Behavior around the low, there's going to be sideways rotation with increasing momentum and incline as we move forward through in time off of the lows. Monday the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, Friday the 13th, Monday the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, Monday the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. Monday the 30th is a holiday, Tuesday the 31st, and then we have local highs, local high correlators. Local low correlators. And then we have trade correlators. And a sneak preview for June. This is the silver 1-month overview for May 2022. It's currently May 4th, 11:44 p.m. 2022. So the overall theme of behavior for the month is a fast, sudden move higher within a period of volatility, and it marks the end of that period of volatility. It's crossed though with a disappointment. So something that we're expecting that we're counting on to come to fruition unexpectedly does not, and it creates a failed attempt to break through resistance followed by a decline through a major support level. When I look at the overview, the 1 year overview for silver, which you can check out, it's on our channel, guys. Posted a while back. We should see another high in the month of May. It does look like we go lower from this high. All right, so the behavior around the highs for the month highs for silver in May are going to be there's going to be at least two. There's going to be like a dip within that takes place like near like the intersection of perpendicular diagonal trend lines, somewhere in there. Like there will be a bunch of like interconnecting trend lines and that sort of stuff, and this will take place right around there. So it'll be kind of like a top dip top, right? The behavior around the low, we're going to have a notable support level that we reach. Does look like we take a sharp dip from the high. So in any case, there'll be a notable support level that's highlighted around the lows for the month. I mean, and by that I mean notable for like when you're looking at this on a daily basis on a chart with daily candlesticks, it'll stand out. That support level will stand out, and what we'll see is sideways bullish rotation that increases in bullish sentiment and momentum as we move forward in time, and that's the behavior that we'll see around the lows. So look out for that. That's the month lows. We also have local lows and local highs, which we'll get into here. And for those of you that are a little confused about month highs and month lows, so if you're looking at a candlestick chart and you've got daily candlesticks and you're looking at multiple months, the highest highs and the highest high and the lowest lows are the month's highs and month's lows for May. So the highest highs and lows in the month of May, right? Local highs and local lows. These are, when we're talking about this, I'm talking about they stand out within the pattern, but they may not necessarily be the highest high. They're crests, they're troughs, and in most cases, like on the 3rd here, we have a local low, which is an opportunity to cash in, and we also have a local high, and at the behavior around the local high, we have some sideways fluctuation with a bearish sentiment that precedes a notable rally. So there'll be like a decline from a so we'll go from support from the Princess of Discs support level where we cash in all the way up to a resistance level, and at least temporarily that resistance level will excuse me, will hold, you know, and from that resistance level we will then decline. But that, again, that's the Empress decline, which it has in it the innate characteristic that it precedes a rally. Alright, so, but that's a local, there'll be a local high and a local low. So we'll see a high, we'll see one high that stands out on a daily chart for the 3rd, and one low that stands out, that really stands out. And that's how you can read when I say local highs and local lows. Alright guys, so important support level highlighted on the 2nd, and we have a fast sudden move higher out of a sideways rotation that takes place, and it marks the end of a period of sideways rotation along support. That's the 2nd. Like I said, the 3rd we move higher from a Princess of Discs cash in, which could be easily like on the 2nd, the end of the 2nd. Sometimes these things blur over to each other these days here, but the sequence of events will always be accurate, guys. So we move higher there. We have a local, or excuse me, we have a month's low correlator for Wednesday the 4th. It's also a fortune card, so it looks like we probably move higher, but we break. There's a local low on Wednesday, and it looks like we bump up against the upper end of a range. With a fast sudden move up out of a scary descent or scary low, and that'll be the 4th. Now that local, I mean that month's low could take place like give or take it a couple of days here, but it's usually pretty much right on point when we talk about sequence of events, guys. Alright, so the 5th, excuse me guys, so the 5th we have 2 local lows, so we'll see 2 local lows that, oh excuse me, before we even get into that, on the 4th we also have 2 significant trade opportunities. There's a trade opportunity where we move higher out of a decline, and there's a trade opportunity where we see a fast sudden move higher that takes place, and the trade, it's a day trade. There's 2 trade opportunities there. Now the following day, towards the end of the day, it looks like we have a reversal of some kind.
looks like we fall possibly from a high. It's a little tricky here. Yeah, end of day though, I'm advised to purchase some protection. We have the Queen of Cups, which is a sudden dip within a period of decline. That leads us to one of the local lows, and then the Princess of Discs. It should be, it's very likely the same price level as the Princess of Discs opportunity that we had on the 3rd. However, it's not always the case. It could just be another opportunity to cash in. I think I'm sensing that's likely right around those same levels. So it looks like we go lower early on Wednesday, and then we move higher, but we move higher through into the 5th, and then we drop. So there's opportunity there at the end of the day where I'm advised to purchase some protection. And then the 6th we have another trade opportunity that stands out. It's the Prince of Cups, which there's going to be a big move to the downside. The Prince of Cups is a decline with increasing momentum as we move forward in time. There's a local high on that day, so there'll be one high on that daily chart when you're looking at it, let's say in like 10-minute candlesticks. There'll be one high that really stands out on that day. All right, so there's a disappointment. Something over the weekend significant. We fall further, and there's a disappointment of some kind that takes place that's significant in regard to silver that takes place around the middle of the day on the 9th. But there's a disappointment, a failed attempt to break resistance, followed by to break resistance that we expect to break, and then that's followed by a decline through at least one notable support level. However, being that it's the Tower card as well that's taking the place of the 9th, I'd say that it's going to be a prominent decline on that day, back to either the same. If we're above the Princess of Discs level going into that day, then likely we'll go back to the same price level as the Princess of Discs. If we are not above it, then it's another opportunity to cash in at a low. One trade opportunity that day, two trade opportunities that day, so it looks like a good day trade opportunity in that day. One local low that really stands out. On the 10th, we have Congress, or some sort of less commonly seen on the news legislative leader, some kind. There's a leader that's not often on the news, that impacts, and it's likely a female. It impacts silver in some way. We have a fast sudden move higher within a period of volatility, marking the end of that period of volatility on the 10th. Remember, the early part of this week we have correlators here to the month's low. That's what these red stars indicate. Orange. So we have a fast sudden move higher within a period of volatility, marking the end of the period of volatility, and a prominent high, one prominent local high that stands out for that day on a 10 or a 5 or 1 minute candlestick chart. Looks like the highs at the end of the day. We have a local low on, and it's also a trade opportunity at the end of the day, a trade opportunity to exit a long position at the end of the day on the 10th. Looks like we have one local low that stands out on the 11th, and we have there's a failed attempt to break resistance, followed by at least one breakdown through prominent support level. I sense it happening overnight, and then we push higher out of that low on the 11th. However, likely not as high as we saw on the 10th. Yikes. All right, so on the 12th, we have the Indolence card. This is a failure. This is a fall, like a decline from a a high, a prominent high that will, or crest that will not be revisited within the time frame of the reading in most cases. So that likely means here that these high correlators that we see at the end of the month. No, I don't think in this case that's what it's indicating, but it is there is a high there that doesn't last long. So somewhere here towards the middle of the week, there's a high there that doesn't last long, or a peak or a crest of some kind, and we fall sharply from that. I think we probably see a crest here early on the 12th, and then we fall sharply from that. We have further decline on the 13th. Okay, so the moves out of the lows, or the scary moments that we have here so far, they're going to be big moves. Like the move that we have on the 4th, move higher on the 4th is going to be a big move. See if there's any other ones. We'll get into that. Alright, so further decline. Looks like we revisit problems from the past on the 13th. Friday the 13th. Woo! And then we have the eclipse. Oh my god. We have Friday the 13th and a solar eclipse like lined up here. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Alright, so out of that decline that we have on the 12th and the 13th, possibly into the 16th, we have a big push to the upside. It's a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of decline. We have a notable resistance level that is highlighted at the day's local high on the 17th. From that local high, we have a sideways fluctuation with bearish sentiment, so it'll be a slight decline with sideways fluctuation. But again, the Empress card has the innate characteristic of appearing just prior to a rally of some sort, and you can see the following day we have a month's high correlator there, and we have the Ace of Wands, which is a big push to the upside. There's a local low. There's one local low on that day, a trade opportunity on the day. So Queen of Cups, we have a dip within a decline. There's a sudden dip within a decline that marks the low there. And then we have a big push out of that, and that big push, obviously, there's quite a bit of a trade opportunity in that. We revisit a crest that was a past good opportunity in a period of kind of erratic, kind of like back and forth through a price level. This is the 19th. We will revisit a crest on that day. So somewhere here towards the mid to end of the week, we have what appears to be a month's high. And there's that fast sudden move higher that we have here early in the week. The Chariot card, sideways fluctuation with bullish sentiment, so slight upward movement, increasing in momentum as we move forward, but it has innate within it its characteristics that it appears just prior to a decline. So we have a trade opportunity and one local low on the 20th, as well as a high correlator here at the end of the week. So a very significant day that takes place. Before we get there, so on the 20th, also that local low, it appears from a sudden dip within a period of decline. Trade opportunity takes place within the midst of a rally that increases in momentum as we move forward in time. There's a trade opportunity around that. All right, so there's a lot going on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd. A lot going on. We have a lot of correlators here. So we have two local highs. We have a failed attempt to break resistance we were expecting to break, and that turns into a decline. Excuse me, a notable decline. Prince of Cups. In the midst of that decline, I see a couple trade opportunities. There's actually 3 trade opportunities. So in the midst of the decline, down to a low that takes place there on the 23rd. Looks like we have 2 lows there on the 23rd and the month's low there on the 23rd. So the big decline between the high that we have the prior week of the 16th to the 20th, and then we have, so it looks like we probably gapped down over the weekend. So on the 23rd, there's like a pop higher, but then there's that 2 local highs. We're basically like we reach the top of a range, and then there's sideways fluctuation with bearish sentiment that takes place from one of those local highs. And the trade opportunities in the midst of this rally are going to be 2 moments where we move higher. There's a big push out of the decline, and the strength card for this month indicates quite a notable move. A notable move higher, and then there's swiftest, so it's likely going to be a fast sudden move, or there'll be 2 moves, a fast sudden move and then a big move that comes out of the midst of a decline. But it's a tricky day. There's a lot going on that day. On the 24th, we have a theme correlator, so we have a fast sudden move higher within the midst of a decline, marking the end of that period of decline, and the interference card, the 8 of Swords, so that usually indicates the top of a range, and multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. We see one local low on that day, so there's fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of volatility, multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, and there's one local low on that day at the Princess of Discs. So if we were higher than this Princess of Discs level, or one of these Princess of Discs levels going into it, it's very likely we revisit the past, the just prior one. We revisit that level, and if we are lower, then likely we go even lower as a Princess of Discs, because it's just an opportunity to cash in. There's a lot going, and there's a lot of tricky stuff going on the 25th. Multiple false tops or multiple false bottoms. Hard to say, but the prudence card is something that I try to avoid whenever possible, so I won't be trading on that day. Matter of fact, I won't be trading on that day anyways, because as of the 10th, I won't be trading until we enter mid-June, because of Mercury retrograde. I don't trade during Mercury retrograde anymore. Just don't do it. Okay, so in somewhere around like the end of the 25th or the beginning of the 26th, or somewhere around that Wednesday, Thursday area, 25th, 26th, we have a rally that marks an opportunity, a trade opportunity. It's a rally that increases in momentum as we move forward in time, but we fall from that crest or that month's high possibly, and sell down through support, but then come back a little bit to that support level. There's a big push to the upside the following day. We have another rally that moves us like a big rally to a push higher to reach a distant resistance level. and one local high there for the 26th. We have a breakout on the 27th, and a trade opportunity again in the midst of another rally that increases in momentum as we move forward in time. On the 30th, Monday the 30th, we actually have Memorial Day, so there won't be any trading going on. The 31st marks an opportunity to trade, position yourself in both sides of the market using, something like options, or hedging against your long positions. Also probably using options, but you want to have a strategy that's neutral, that allows for some volatility and sets you up to make money in both directions at maybe not at the exact same time, but that's a notable trade opportunity. The 31st, there's one local high and one local low. There's going to be sideways rotation along the local high there, and then we're going to have a failed attempt to break resistance, followed by a breakdown through a notable support level, leading to the local low there on the 31st. The sneak preview card for June is we have a decline. Looks like disappointment, a failed attempt to break resistance. There's notable trade opportunity. It looks like we decline through that month. I'm just basing that off of one card. I haven't actually done the June overview yet. That'll be coming out actually shortly. We're going to get ahead here. But the Prince of Cups and the Death card do not bode well for the month of June as the preview card. And when I look at the 1 year for silver, we have cruelty. We have the cruelty card around the high. We have something important, an important trade opportunity towards the beginning of the month of June, and off of the low we have a push higher, but it's going to be a notable low. Looks like a very notable low, actually. It may be our lowest low thus far, not by much, but it may very well be our lowest low thus far for the month. So be prepared, guys. And that's the silver 1 month reading for May 2022. Hopefully this is going to help you in a ton of different ways. Let me know how it does. Let me know if you've developed the strategy for utilizing this information. I love to hear about it, guys. I've been working on this for 22 years. Really, really love to hear how people use this. Great minds. There's more than one mind, I should say. More than one mind gives you better ideas, right? Like there's things probably when you're looking at this information that maybe you come up with. I'd love to hear about. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and look out for the next one, my friends. I'll see you on the flip side.